Welcome to our compensation plan training. This is going to be a video that goes over more in depth the power of the Enagic compensation plan and why it has stood out for so many people, including professionals that are in the sales aspect, like real estate agents, life insurance, um, people of all walks of life that really just want to be able to create a lot more freedom, but also leverage the most powerful skill set in the world, and that is digital marketing. That's where it allows us to really create so much more freedom than a traditional job or a business would. So, we're going to dive into exactly the three different options of starting with a Nagic, with our business in particular and our strategy. So, we're going to go over what it looks like to start with a single product, a trifecta, and a quad. And I'm going to explain a little bit more what that looks like here in a few minutes. But first, I just want to really paint a clear picture for everybody of why so many people love this business and why we're able to scale our businesses so fast compared to like a traditional brick and mortar business. Okay, so a little bit of our backstory is we actually were business owners. My husband had a construction company before, and it came with a lot of overhead, just having to purchase a lot of things just to have the business run, but also handling, working with like employees and all of that kind of stuff. And the thing is, like, that was for us what we thought was going to allow us to create so much freedom. But it was kind of the exact opposite. We were working long hours, specifically my husband, and just dealing with a lot of stuff that was kind of like a headache, things that you really just don't know that you have to deal with until you kind of get thrown into it. So what we really loved about this business in particular was it eliminated a lot of the headaches that we were already dealing with a traditional business that really kind of steered us away from wanting to be entrepreneurs. So for anybody new coming in here, I really want you to understand what the power of being able to leverage other people's efforts are. To be able to create true wealth, when we look at all the people in the world that have been able to create true wealth, they've done it with the assistance of others. Okay. And that's where, a lot of people do take that chance of starting like a brick and mortar business because they know if they hire employees and then their employees can do the work and they get paid a portion of it, basically. Right. But here we can actually not, and rather than hiring employees, we can actually franchise our businesses out to others and for a period of time actually earn commissions off of their sales while they're learning the ropes. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at what that looks like. So, Enagic is very much a direct sales business. Okay, it is network marketing, but it is not MLM. There's nothing pyramidal about it. And that's why I really love this business so much because I love the fact that as I was learning the business, I had someone above me that was helping me through the whole learning phase and mentoring me and helping me get sales and really just showing me the ropes. But eventually, I ended up earning all of the commissions. So that's what happens when you join this business. And it's really kind of structured the same type of way as like a real estate agent to a brokerage, where what a real estate agent comes in and when they make a sale, they get a commission and so does their brokerage. But where it's a little bit different is eventually that real estate agent ends up earning all of the commissions and phasing out the brokerage and being able to bring on more and more people as well to help them create more sales. And as they help those people as well through our system, they're able to generate commissions as well. And then eventually, those people that they bring in again start earning all the commissions. And that's where really this business is set up as a true like mentorship business where we can help guide people to get to the results that they want. And then they can go and pay it forward to the next person and help them get to those results. And they don't have to do it on their own. We have so many resources like our step-by-step training, our automation, all of those kinds of things that are already done for you. So it's a matter of really getting people into this business and then directing them to the resources that are available for everybody that joins us. Okay, so we are going to dive into, again, the three different ways of getting started with the business. And I really want you guys to understand, like on an expanded view, what these three different options look like when you are earning all of the commission. So as you can see, here we are showing kind of it's the way that the business is structured is over and down. Like I said, it's not a pyramid. So as you go through what we call the ranks, and I'm going to dive into this more so you can visually understand it better, you never go back. So when you're in the position called 1A, after you've made your first two sales, you then rank up to 2A. Okay, so 2A, I'm going to explain again a little bit further into the slide so that you can see it visually what that looks like. But between your first 3 and 10 sales, you're in the 2A position and then you move up. Okay, as you can see, it only goes through the 6 points, the way that a magic is structured. But we're also going to show you guys today what that looks like to be able to do what we call a stack. And when we stack our businesses, that's what allows us to earn all 8 points. So let's just take a look at what that looks like when you are earning all 8 points. Okay, so this is our three main options that we're going to go through today, starting with a single product, the K8, starting with three products, the trifecta, and starting with the quad, and that's 4 products. Okay, so when you are earning all 8 commissions and you sell 5 K8s, you have earned just over $16,000. When you sell 5 trifectas, you've earned just over $31,000. And when you've sold 5 quads, you've earned $47,000. I was in a low ticket network marketing business many years ago, and we earned around about $100 a commission. For us to make that kind of money, we would have had to make thousands of sales, not 5 sales. Okay, like when we saw this, it was mind blowing. I knew this was our ticket to freedom. And you're probably looking at these numbers too, and you're probably thinking the exact same thing. And even more so as we continue going through this compensation plan. So, and it goes up from there. 50 sales on the single product is $164,000. 50 on the trifecta is $310,000. And 50 sales on a quad, so 50 quad sales is $474,000. Imagine only having to make 50 sales in a year and having an annual income like that. That is life changing. This is the type of income that we can create that allows us to not only if we want to leave our jobs, but our partners, if we have a partner, for them to leave their jobs and really be able to really live life where we don't have those financial restrictions. Okay, so let's dive into this a little bit further of what really stands out for a Najik's compensation plan. And it's a Najik's career path. This was something that made a lot of sense for us. And for the aspect of we weren't just building financial freedom on a monthly basis. We weren't just creating it for ourselves. We were actually creating a legacy that we could pass down to our kids. So as you look at this chart here, the first leadership rank is called 6A. And after you've made 101 sales between you and your team, accumulated, so you don't have to make all those sales on your own. And again, about 25 quads takes you to this rank. So only 25 sales to get you to this point. You earn a $3,000 one-time bonus. Now, that's not a huge deal, but also when you hit this rank, you also unlock additional income streams for bonuses. Okay, that will always take place. And then when you hit 6A2, you earn a $6,000 bonus and another set of bonuses that you get continuously on a monthly and quarterly basis. And the same goes with 6A2-2. But here's where I really want you to pay attention is when we get up to the 6A2-3 portion of the career path is when we start to get what's called a monthly income for life. Okay, so you get a $25,000 one-time bonus, but you also receive at minimum $5,000 a month for life. And now that $5,000 isn't for the rest of your life. It's actually willable down 2 generations. So if you have children, you can pass this monthly commission and your entire business down to your kids, and then your kids can pass it down to their kids. You have to remember, and maybe this is new to you, that Enagic is a 51-year-old company that has already released its 100-year business plan. They're not going anywhere. And Enagic is privately owned. So when we look at these $5,000 monthly for life commissions or bonuses, it's actually more like what they do is put you into a pool as if you were like a shareholder and you get a portion of what's going on within that side of the business. And here's the fun thing is it actually goes up from there. So it's not just $5,000 a month. As you continuously rank up, you can see it goes up 10, 15, 20, 40, $80,000. This is where for us, when we first had kids, like before that, we could save money no problem. Like 500 bucks a month we were putting away for just a rainy day, retirement, whatever. When we had kids, everything changed. We weren't able to save anymore. We had all these new expenses coming out, and it just seemed like for us to save was just not something we could ever like really um, get in the groove of doing because there was just so much going out. We just didn't have anything to put to the side. So when we saw that what this career path really looked like, we saw it as not only a way to set ourselves up financially now, but be able to create something that could pull us into retirement. So when we got to retirement, we weren't sitting there not being able to do the things we wanted to do because we didn't have the money to do it. But also, it was the ability to be able to pass this down to our kids as well. Okay, it was just, there was so many reasons why this made so much sense to us, even though this was completely new. We had no experience in the online space. We had no experience in sales, but we knew even if it took us years to really get this dialed in, that once we started really building this business, it was only a matter of time before it would set us free. Flash forward today, we've been able to set ourselves free. We were both retired from our jobs. We homeschool. We are from Canada originally, now living in Cabo San Lucas at the moment of me recording this. Who knows where we are in the world right now? Um, but it's been able to really create something that for a very long time I thought would never be possible until we started looking at this compensation plan and really being able to leverage the automation that you're going to learn in another video. So let's dive into starting with the first package, and we're going to show you what it would take to get you to your first $20,000 in this business. Okay. So here's our K8. That's our single product, our heart and soul of the business, the water ionizer that has so many health benefits that can absolutely change your life, but also at the same time replace so many household chemicals and toxins with the different pHs. We're not going to go into all the different stuff about what makes this machine amazing. We have other videos for that, but that's just starting off with a single product. Okay. In Canada, these machines are currently $6,380 or $5,890 US. Okay. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like on an 8-point system. So as you can see the chart here, there's 8 pieces of a pie. And as we go through the ranks, we earn more and more pieces of the pie. Okay. And when we get to the point of earning all 8 points, we're earning $3,280. Okay, so again, this is what the compensation plan looks like as we're moving through the 1 to 6A ranks. When you're making your first 2 sales, you earn $410 each sale. And as you move up, $820 on the single K8 sale, 3A, $1,230. And again, it goes all the way up to $3,280. Okay. So what that looks like for earning $20,000, your first $20,000 in the business. Say you started with a K8 and you're only selling K8s. The only people that you've brought in really just wanted a single machine. It would take you 21 direct sales to earn your first $20,000. Okay. But again, you don't need to build this business on your own because this is a true mentorship business. And as you bring on people, they will also be making sales. Okay. And at the same time, as we go through this compensation plan, I want it to be very clear that just because you start with a single product doesn't mean you can only sell single products. You can also sell trifectas. You can also sell quads. The only difference is you're starting at a different rank. And depending on which products the people choose with the trifectas or quads, you may or may not get a commission. So on our Ukon supplement, you do need to have an active Ukon going to get a commission and a point for it. And we'll dive into that deeper in some of our training that once you become a team member of ours. But just know that if you start with a K8, you can also sell a trifecta. It's just what happens when you start with a certain way. The people that you bring in tend to start that same way. It's just creating duplication. So let's just take a look at what it would look like if you started with a K8. Okay, so you started with a K8 and you made your first sale to James. Now, James filled up one of your 1A positions and you've earned $410. And now you brought in Ashley, and she filled up your other 1A position. And now you've made $820, $410 off of each person. Now, Ashley's come in and she goes through our training. She starts running ads and she starts making sales. And she goes on and makes one, two, three, four, five sales. Now, on your direct sales, you've made $820, but on your indirect sales, you've made $2,050. Okay, that's where we start to see the money going up, which is absolutely incredible because you could be out, if you're still working a job, out hanging out with your kids, sleeping, and sales take place from your business partners. Okay, we won't go too much further than that. I just want to give you guys the example of what that looks like. And now let's take a look at what the trifecta looks like. So when you start with a trifecta, you're earning $775 on average per point. It really just depends which products. These are our three core products, the K8, the Anespa, and the Ukon. If they're starting with that traditional trifecta, it'll be $775 per point that you get. Okay. The trifecta as of right now with these three core products is $13,130. Okay, and when you get to the point of earning all 8 points, you are earning $5,655 on every single sale that takes place. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of this again here, but as you can see, as you move through the ranks, you start earning more money. And to get to the whole earning $20,000 from starting at day one, it actually only takes you 10 sales. So before it took you over 40 sales, now it only, was it 40? I think it was about 40 sales. It now only takes you 10 sales to get to the $20,000 mark, which is life changing. 10 sales to get to $20,000. Okay, now one of the huge benefits as well of starting with the trifecta is you get a cash back because what happens is you actually end up purchasing two products off of yourself. So you get up to $540 cash back if you're starting with a traditional trifecta. It is 100% tax write-off because this is a business investment, and you earn up to $1,490 on your first trifecta sale. Okay, it only takes 14 sales to get to all 8 points. Okay, and so what's really stands out here with the trifecta is because you're purchasing two products off of yourself, you're filling up the two 1A positions, and this is what that looks like. So rather than putting your first sale in the 1A position and only earning 1 point, you're actually putting your sales into those positions and filling those spots up. So when you go to make your first sale, your actual sale to somebody else, you're earning double the commissions. And that's what that looks like. Okay, so we'll use the same people, the same scenario. So you started with a trifecta. James decided to start with a trifecta as well. Okay, so now your sale went into the 2A position and you've earned $545 off of your own sales to yourself. And you earned your first commission 2 times the points or 2 times the commissions from James. That's $2,095. Now you bring Ashley in to the 2A position. And now you've earned directly 3,645 sales. Ashley also started with a trifecta. And now all of Ashley's people that came in because she started with a trifecta decided they wanted to start with a trifecta as well. And those 5 sales now look like $3,645 on your direct sales and $7,750 indirectly, meaning you didn't have to make those sales. Okay, now let's just take a look at the quad real quick. So the quad traditionally on the one single point is $1,185. When you earn all 8 points, it's $8,135. Okay, and so as you can see, you can go through the ranks here from 1A to 6A, what that looks like. But let's talk about the benefits of starting with the quad. So you get up to $1,090 instant cash back because instead of buying two products off of yourself, now you're buying three. And our traditional quad is a shower system, two K8s, and an Ukon. Okay, it's 100% tax write-off. And on your first quad sale, you earn up to $3,550, which is a lot of money. Now, one of the reasons why a lot of people like to start with the quad is they like to build this business both on and offline. And when you have an extra machine, you can actually lease out one of these machines for anywhere between $150 and $200 a month. Now you have your machine working for you and your business automation working for you online. 10 quad sales brings you to all 8 points. Okay, so it doesn't take very long to get to those all 8 points. And like we said, when you are selling quads, 50 quads pays you $474,000 when you're earning all 8 points. So let's just take a look at what really makes the quad stand out. Why so many people are choosing this route because it gets you to the fastest commissions. Okay, so let's use the same scenario again. So now what happens when we start with a quad is we're purchasing 3 products off of ourselves. And so what happens here is you purchase 2 products into your 1A position and another product in your 2A position. And this is where we do what's called a stack. Remember I mentioned before the Enagic compensation plan stops at 6 points, but we want you to earn all 8 points. And Enagic allows you to have multiple businesses within your organization. So you're actually going to start building 2 businesses at the exact same time. And now this might sound a little bit confusing. You're always going to have your coach and mentor to guide you through this. But what happens is when you purchase the 3 products, you fill up the 1A position, and your third sale goes into the 2A position. And rather than putting your next sale in the 2A position, you're going to put your first sale into the 1A position of this new business. Okay, so what happens there is you end up earning 3 points because your first position is now a 2A and your new business is a 1A. So that totals 3 points. Okay, and this is what that looks like. And we'll use the exact same scenario again. So James now starts in your first stacked position. Okay, so you earn 3 points off of James rather than earning just 1 point if you started with a K8 or 2 points if you started with a trifecta. James started with a quad because you started with a quad. Okay, so now your first commission, including what your sales are to yourself, is $4,645 because you purchased 3 products off of yourself and you sold your first quad. Okay, now Ashley comes in and Ashley goes into the other 1A position of your new business. So you earn another 3 points for a K8, and now you've earned $8,200. Okay, now when Ashley came in with the quad, it inspired those 5 people to also start with quads. And instead of earning $410 per commission, you're now earning $3,550 off of her sales. Now, your direct sale, you earn $8,200 and indirectly $17,775, which is so much money when you start to look at how incredible this compensation plan is. Because all you did was you brought in 2 people, you directed them to our system, our funnel. You got them in on our training that's all set up for you that everyone you bring in has access to. And when they start making sales as well, you get rewarded too, up to 8 points down. Okay. So every single person has access to financing. There are different ways of starting this business. Some people do want to pay upfront for their investment in full, and that's absolutely, you can absolutely do that. There's no problem with that. We did not have the money upfront to get started, but we caught the vision. We knew this business was going to change our life. And if we could leverage OPM, other people's money to get started, that was our best route. We did financing in Canada, and we ourselves started with a trifecta. There was no quad back when we first started, and we built our business from there. And we're going to go over what those options look like in just a second, okay? But let's just go over again a quick recap of the different options. So when you start with a K8, you make anywhere from $410 to $1,230 on your first sale. So that would be a sale on a K8 versus a sale on a quad, okay? Because you're earning 1 point. Okay, when you start with 1 point, you're starting at the beginning of the comp plan, okay? And you can move your way up. You're never just stuck at earning the 1 point. You're just starting at the beginning and you can still work your way up to earning all 8 points. Now, starting with a trifecta, you can start with any three products. Again, we just showed you guys our traditional, the K8, the shower system, and the Ukon. Those are Enagic's core products that have been around for a very long time. They have since introduced another product called M-Guard that is still super new. And as you're watching this video right now, it's still maybe coming direct from Malaysia. So that's how new it is. It's not fully in the system, but we can order it and it can actually help you build your business if you don't want one of these other three products. So a trifecta in Canada starts at around $11,780 up to $13,000. And it's about $10,000 US to about $12,000 US. Okay. Again, it allows you to double your commissions and earn anywhere from $810 to $2,070 per sale. Now, depending on which products you choose, you can get paid up to $800 or $640 back. Okay, so if you're financing, this is where this can actually help you get into the business and have a couple months in the business with zero money out of pocket. Okay, because you're actually getting commissions back on the purchase of a couple of your products. And you can put that towards the first couple of months of your business as you get it going and building the foundational stuff and start cranking sales. Okay, so, and then there's the quad. It starts between $15,600 Canadian and 19,500 Canadian. And in US, it starts at around, I think, 13,500 and up to $18,000. Okay, and this is what allows you to 3x your commissions. You can earn anywhere from $1,230 up to $3,550 on your first sale. You get paid up to $1,230 when you're starting with a quad, and your first quad sale pays you up to $3,150. Okay. We're going to dive into showing you guys what the financing looks like here in just a moment, but we want to give you guys, if you're brand new in here and you may have missed it, when you join our business, you are also going to get access to our Freedom course that walks you through step by step how we build our business online and leverage automation like social media ads that run for you 24/7. We have our $1 million ad strategy that once you get it dialed in is like an actual ATM. You put money in and money comes out. We have business partners right now that for every dollar they put into ads, they are getting $14 out. This is how powerful this business is aligned with this strategy. Okay, so let's just take a look at what the financing looks like. Okay, I'm going to see if I can switch my screens here. I might have to cut this out here for a sec. We're going to close this down and, oh, here we go. I'm just going to move this over. Okay, so we have a financing website. If you cannot access it, just reach out to the person who brought you in and we will make sure to get you access to the financing website so that you can look at your different options and apply for whichever option looks best for you. Okay, so there are benefits to financing. Like I said, we didn't have the money up front when we got started, but we did have the ability to get financing for zero down because we had decent credit score. Okay, and one of the really big things for us at the time was like, not only were we able to finance, but like the interest rate that we had to pay was 100% tax write-off as well. So we didn't get started like with the best interest rate, but it all went against what our current income was at our jobs. Okay, so that's one of the beautiful things of financing is it allows you to get into the money game. It allows you access to this business where there's so many tax benefits. Okay, and even just getting started, your initial investment is 100% tax write-off. So I'm not going to go into all these different, read all of this out. You can have access to our website here and you can learn all about the benefits of financing. But what we're going to show you here is we're going to show you the different options of the traditional packages that we just went over. Okay, so we have the getting started with the K8, the trifecta, and the quad. And you can see here, these are our main options. United States, Canada, and Australia. This is where our business are most dominant right now. We do have a global business with people in all different countries, but this is our three main countries right now that are being built. Okay, so when you're in the United States, just to kind of look at the financing options, Um, you can start with a K8 in the US, and your minimum payments are around $70 a month. If you start with a trifecta, and again, this is a ballpark depending on which packages you start with, but about $130 a month. And then on the quad, you're looking at about $180 a month. Now think about starting with a quad and getting over $1,000 back. That puts you in the business for like 6 months with zero money out of pocket. The ability to start making tons of sales, changing your family's life, and potentially really never having to put money out of pocket beyond just running your $5 a day ads. Okay, so here's the K8 in Canada. In Canada, we don't have quite the same attractive options in the United States, but we do have amazing options to get started that are actually, some of them are actually a partner directly with Enagic, so it makes it really smooth to go through the process. So with the K8, you can finance for in and around $190 a month, a trifecta $310 a month, and a quad $425 a month. You guys, my car payments are like a fraction, or this is a fraction of what our car payments are, and probably for a lot of people as well. And my car only was getting me from point A, my home, to point B, my job. This is a business that can get you from where you are right now, potentially struggling financially, hating your job, having no time freedom, to taking you to your dream life. So I know when we look at these numbers, sometimes we're like, whoa, $425 a month. It's like, but look what it gets you. It gets you these incredible health products that can absolutely change your life, but access into a business that, as long as you don't give up, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when your life will change and you'll be able to create your dream life. Okay. And then in Australia, it's a kind of similar to Canada. The K8, about $170 a month, a trifecta, $280 a month, and a quad, $380 a month, $385 a month, sorry. So in the United States, we have a few different options. One of the top options that we find our business partners are leveraging is the Chase Freedom Card. It's a 0% APR credit card that has 0% APR for 15 months. And when you spend over, I think it's about $500 in your first couple months, they're actually going to give you an additional $200 cash back. So that's on top of anything else that you get back in commissions from Enagic. Okay, you do need to have a minimum credit score of $650 or 650 credit score. If you don't have that, you likely won't get approved. If you're borderline that, it's worth definitely checking to see if you would get qualified. You can click on the link here and go through the process and just see if you're pre-qualified, or if you're qualified, they'll actually just send you out the credit card. And if not, we do have the other options. We're just going to go over here. So the Chase Freedom Card on a K8, the payments are about $70 a month. On a trifecta, $130, and on a quad, about $180. Now, the alternative that allows a lower rate is Lending Tree. So it's 6.99 to 35% interest, which is high, right? It's high, especially like if the lower your credit, the higher the interest is going to be, but it gets you into the business. And again, it's 100% tax write-off, your initial purchase and your interest. Okay. So if you don't have the best credit score and you know this business is what your ticket to freedom, this is a great option for you. There's Discover loans as well. Again, need a bit of a higher credit score. And then if you don't have good credit at all, you know you're not going to get approved, maybe you've been bankrupt before, Enagic does allow in-house financing, and pretty much in every single country. So there's no credit check. But it does require a down payment, okay? And you can only purchase one product through their financing. You can't go and get a trifecta or a quad. So I always recommend starting with a K8 then. So approximately on a K8, depending which state you're in, because you pay the taxes up front, the down payment ends up being around $1,500 and about $205 in monthly payments over the course of 2 years. Okay, so there is an option for everyone. If you see the potential in this business and you know it can change your life, even if credit is not on your side right now, if you can come up with the $1,500 to get your down payment, that gets you rolling in the business, access to our training, access to the product, and access to being able to run ads and absolutely changing your life. Okay, so in Canada, our main option at the moment is Metacard. So Metacard is the company we used when we first started in the business. You do need a minimum of 650 credit score. You get your first month free. They don't take the payment out on the first month. Starting with a K8, it's about 170 a month, trifecta 310 a month, and a quad 425. It's super simple to apply through Metacard online. If you do want to apply for Metacard online, always just reach out to the person who brought you into this group so that they can kind of send you a copy paste of how to fill out the form. It takes about 5 minutes to do, but it just kind of helps with the process even more. Okay. And then there's MBNA. MBNA is another option. Yeah, minimum credit score is 630. And then there's Fairstone. Fairstone, again, is like more for lower credit scores. They do have higher interest, but again, if you want to get in this business with zero down, this is a great option to get started if Metacard isn't an option for you. In Canada as well, they do have in-house financing. And now, depending on which province you're in, again, the down payment's going to be different. But it's in and around $2,100, and the monthly payments are about $201, $201.25. Okay, so again, reach out to the person who got you into the group so they can kind of better show you what that looks like over the course of the 24 months of payments. Okay, and then in Australia, there's a company called Sky Financial where it's 12 months interest free offer. You must have good credit. That's a great option. Or we actually work with a broker named Samuel Leslie, and he can kind of go through a few different lending companies and find the best route for you depending on what your credit score is. You do need to have a minimum credit score of 580. You do need to have a job. Samuel Leslie gives us about an average on the K8, 150 a month, trifecta 600 or $260 a month, and a quad $385 a month. There is the option of the Quad Plus as well that in Australia and all the other countries as well. But our main focus really are the three products. But the Quad Plus can go for $425 a month. Okay, and then there's also the in-house financing options where your down payment is about $1,000 with repayments of $230. Now, we do have options in other countries like the UK, New Zealand, and worldwide, Enagic does do direct in-house financing. So if you don't see your country here, just reach out to the person, again, who brought you into the group so we can find out the best options for you for getting started. Okay, so once you get approved, really, it's a matter of once you get approved, we either send you over a link to put your purchase through, or we send you out paperwork to sign off on to get you rolling. We get you inside of our freedom course. We get you into going through. Let me just see if I can pull this up here again. Oh, here, I'm gonna try to exit my full screen. We're going to get you into our freedom course. We're going to walk you through step by step on the best strategy for you to start building your business, whatever that looks like for you. We all have different ways that we want to build our business. And then what we're going to do as well as you're in the business, we are also going to work with you one-on-one to help you get your sales, and we're going to help you close your first 6 sales for you. Okay, so when you come into the business, you're not doing this alone. You are going to have a support system that helps you every step of the way. We also have a Facebook group chat that is connected to our entire community. So if your direct upline isn't available, you do have a whole community of people that are here to help. Okay. You're going to get access to our 14-day fast track to freedom. You're going to get access to our 30K in 30 days cheat sheet and all sorts of other amazing stuff that really it allows you to change your life so fast. So again, reach out to the person who got you into the group once you finish going through all of our training videos in the welcome post, and they'll help you take the next step forward. And that's always going through financing and finding out what your best options are. So we look forward to seeing you on the inside and continue going through those videos so you can have a better understanding of what we have to offer when it comes to automation.